back, spawn of Satan.
Oh, really?
Yes. What is up, everybody? We are officially back on the Horror Barbecue, and it is on Sinful Sunday, and I cannot wait to bring you guys a whole new year of horror. And of course, my brother Mortimer Deadfellow has come out of his crypt to join us as well. So, welcome back, brother. Happy New Year to all of you. And we've got a really good show for you guys tonight. What are we going to be talking about?
We are
Brother Mortimer
talking about influential horror directors that thought outside the box and kind of changed the way that people look at horror in a lot of ways.
Exactly. They shocked us. They did so many different things to bring us a whole new level of horror in a lot of ways, because it didn't just prey on what you're seeing, but it preys on what your mental status is, because they have so many different twists and turns.
Very much so, yes, completely.
But before we get into all this madness, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our brother over in the UK. That's right. Talking about Poison Valley Scareware. Check that shit out. That's right. If you're looking for original, and I'm saying original horror art as part of your overall daily apparel, definitely get over there, check out Dave, and give him some ideas. He'll bring those ideas to life and put it on a shirt for you, maybe a hoodie. You know what I'm saying? So definitely get over to poisonvalleyscareware.com. And yes, again, happy New Year to everybody out there in Black Flame Land. That's right. And I'm excited about this list. I love talking about creators. And some of the creators that we're going to be talking about tonight, sorry, my messages are going off like insanity tonight. Trying to keep my head in the the game, so to speak. So, but they were the ones that challenged us mentally, emotionally. Oh man, just all the way around, from all the great grindhouse films of, let's say, the 70s. Shit, the 70s. Let's not forget the Italian horror that just took us into oblivion. The Hammer horror was also synonymous with that too.
Very much so.
But I think we've compiled a damn good list. And let me go ahead and welcome all you beautiful demons in the attic section tonight. Brother Kyler is with us. Brother Looney is in the house, my brother. Dustin, excellent to see you, sir. Let's see. Lizzie is out there. We got a few more. Hold on. Rebecca, Cody, my brother's out there too. If you haven't figured it out yet, make sure that you share this out. Anywhere and everywhere there is a horror lover. And just to make this very well known, the beginning of the video tonight needs a little bit of redirection. So we make a public apology about that, and it will be dealt with. Sydney, what's going on? Sydney in the house. All right. Let's get down to it. Brother Mortimer, who do we have for him?
Well, I think I'm going to come out of the gate hot for my first choice for the new year.
Got to.
I picked Clive Barker.
What a great choice to start with.
I figured let's go in the blood and the torment. We have to go with the creator and director of Hellraiser and Nightbreed.
Ooh, that's one thing I'm never always that sure of. Whether or not is Hellraiser my favorite or is Nightbreed? Because I kind of feel like, obviously, my unholy self and you, my undead brother, we kind of fit in Nightbreed. I think that one hit so hard.
I think it did too. I think that Clive was really good at that. Is seeing cultures like the goth, the BDSM, all the different kind of cultures and fashions and stuff like that get ignored.
Yes.
And when you get into pain and pleasure, you get into Hellraiser, and it's just, as a film too, is taking that to the 10th degree possible, pushing it beyond what a human being can handle.
Well, Babylon is with us too. What's going on, my brother? He says, and Jesus wept. That's one of my favorite lines from that film.
We have such sights to show you.
Oh, man. It's like, please, Pinhead, take me. Take me right now. I'll take the game.
And it's
Let's make this happen.
he's one of those directors too, to me, that it's like, when he knows his characters, he truly knows his characters and has the ability to convey it to the screen better than a lot do.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Brother Turkey Man. He says, I wish my wife was excited seeing me as Reaper gets excited for seeing. Oh,
Try corpse paint,
man. You're part of the family.
Exactly. Corpse paint, naked, and turkey feathers.
Whoop, whoop.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. I'm dead. Nonetheless. Oh, hey, Looney says, great to see you too, brother. Hellraiser 2 is my fave. Hellraiser 2 definitely raised the bar. Again, I don't feel like they had as big of a budget they did on the first one as they did.
It didn't seem like it, yeah.
A lot of these films were testers.
Yeah.
Anything from, the first Evil Dead, the first Nightmare on Elm Street, and let's face it, the first Hellraiser. These were all tester films.
Yep. And some of them is the whole reason they got money for the future films. Hence how you technically get Evil Dead twice.
Yes.
Because he had budgets to go back and do what he wanted to do the first time. And it's the same kind of thing, I believe, with that for Clive and stuff like that. Was he knows these characters especially for the ones of his own creation, better than any director's going to.
Right.
And he's an artist by, pen, by paintbrush, by, he's just an artist. So he can paint that picture for you and take the audience through that.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
he's your guide through the darkness. It was the first time I saw his films, I was hooked immediately.
And it was in the way of how he could take a story and have it be so fucking human that you don't realize it because of what you're seeing. But if you think about the philosophy behind what's going on there, he was talking about very taboo things and human lust, as it were. And we're talking about the 80s there. So Hellraiser was a bit of an eye-opener.
Exactly. I mean, well, that's the whole thing too, is it's like when you're dealing with things like that, the hidden things in society that people don't want to see, the hardest thing to do, or I guess the cruelest thing you can do to them is show them a mirror.
Right. And in this case, it's the most horrific reflection.
There you go.
Get.
Yeah. I mean, but it's also too, though.
I agree.
In the same sense, though, for Nightbreed, he showed you that monsters, just because they look like that, doesn't mean they're bad.
Right. Doesn't really make them monsters.
Exactly.
Just because they're different. That was very much a racial thing. Very racial undertones there.
Yes, no, very much so. And that's the same kind of thing, is where you get into Romero, too. It's the same thing. Is every single time for every Dead movie, you had a strong black male character that handled his business, and it's like when they're going through, civil rights stuff like that, he was willing to do that when nobody was trying to do that, because he had a voice within the zombie stories. It wasn't just zombie stories. Same thing with Clive, it's those reflections on society.
Yes, absolutely. So, yep, I absolutely agree with Brother Babylon on this. Lord of Illusions was one hell of an epic film.
Yeah, another one directed by
one of his best.
Personally, yeah, I agree.
Just nothing but pure madness.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to like? Looney says, sorry, I didn't say that right. Visions of Heaven and Hell is his massive gold-guided pages autobiography. Highly recommend it. It has most of all his paintings are just amazing, and a beautiful explanation of his mind. When I was at Days of the Dead Chicago last year, I had a glimpse. I seen the man.
Oh yeah. So I got to see
signing the Lament configuration boxes. He was signing one.
Wow.
And I wanted to snap a picture so bad, but I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. You want to know why? Because I've been dreaming of that moment for many, many years. And to be honest, let the man be.
Yeah.
He's given us so much in his life.
And I'm sure Lizzie can say too on how genuine and nice and really, really good person he was when she met him. Yes. I didn't get to, but she did.
Oh, that's right, Cody. He also had a whole gallery and everything last year at Scarefest. We weren't able to catch everything, but I can't wait for Scarefest this year. Look out. Black Flame is coming for you. That's right. All right, on to my first one. So since we're kind of going in the old time period, I wanted to bring up. Go ahead.
I said we're going to be jumping around a lot.
Yes, because I mean we literally have some of these standout guys everywhere in every decade, and I want to make sure we try to cover as many of these as possible. Now, the gentleman that I'm going to be bringing up, he kind of is one of those guys that jumps around a lot in his filmmaking. And he's been doing it for a very, very long time. And the The gentleman that I'm referring to is, in fact, unfortunately, we lost him last year. May you rest in peace. Roger Corman.
Oh, yeah.
Roger Corman has given us some of the craziest mashup, like horror sci-fi, like I said, dare I say, grindhouse style
Oh, yeah.
films.
No, I helped define what Grindhouse was.
Honestly, if there wasn't a Roger Corman, there would have never had been a Quentin Tarantino.
I agree. Yep. 100%. 100%.
Yes. Yes. Anything from Attack of the Crab Monsters.
Yeah.
To the Puerto Rico trilogy. So many different he did some stuff that covered Poe as well. I'm trying to see a few more of these. Battle Beyond the Stars. What a classic that was.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's the Corman. Corman's a great choice because when you're trying to talk about somebody that inspired so many other filmmakers for generations, for decades, it's Roger Corman and in more than one genre, including horror, in horror too. You know,
he was also responsible for The Raven.
Let's see.
Vincent fucking Price.
Yeah. Yeah, I already he won me over with that real quick. Yeah.
So, I mean, we can't be talking about some out of the box prolific directors that have made such a mark.
Exactly, but he did it his own way. It's the same kind of thing. It's the same thing as it was with Clive and everything so far as they went to their own beat, their own drum for it.
Yes.
You know, and that's why the movies were crazy, you know, but they were also amazing at the same time. You know, it's like, oh, we can't film that kind of scene. I don't know how we pull that off. Well, Roger Corman will show you how to do it.
He was one of those. Well, if we hit a patch in the road, fuck it, we'll figure it out.
Right? Yeah. Screw it. Let's adapt.
Anything from framing to getting the music just right, the grainy grittiness of it all. Yeah. He wanted it to be so real for people, and that's why they were so shocking.
True, but you know, but that's the other thing there too. That's why people are still talking about him like us. You know, and it's like you made all these films and all these jumping through the years with icons like Sid Haig. You know, gosh. And Greer.
Yep.
It's like the name. I mean, the lists go on of people that got their start working with Roger Corman. So it's
he was quite the chameleon as a film director.
Yeah,
you know, not only could he bring you terror from, you know, above or, you know, good old fashioned monster stuff, but he could also bring you to the mean streets and show you just how bad it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very much so. Yeah, he's a great choice.
Oh man, he also did House of Usher too.
Yep. Yeah, he did. I do believe that Vincent did all of the Edgar Allan Poe stuff with him.
Yep. Nobody better.
Oh no, yeah. Now I'm gonna keep Vincent Price. He's really good at this shit. Oh yeah, Roger Corman's very good too. You know, and it's like, there you go.
Oh, he had an eye for talent.
Exactly.
I think directors back then also wrote with specific actors in mind.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very much so. Very much so.
I'm getting just shivers talking about this. So who do you got next?
Well, I'm going to go with somebody that only has one directing credit to their name. Only one. But it will make sense. And I'm sure that, our demons will agree with me. I'm going to go with Stephen King for Maximum Overdrive. And this movie gets so much crap from so many people. Oh, that's when Stephen King was on cocaine or whatever. And it's like, well, guess what?
Who the fuck was it in the 80s?
Yeah, well, that's what the thing is. It's like people say, oh, he was this and this and this, and he was on drugs and cocaine and everything like that. And it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
stop it.
but he went and directed his own horror movie that he wrote.
Yep.
So at least he was productive on it. You know, and it's not a bad movie.
It was productive.
It gives you Emilio Estevez.
Yep.
But it's also, without the works of Stephen King, horror wouldn't be what it is today anyway.
Right.
You
all
know,
the way around.
Bill Skarsgård would have lost his biggest role he's ever gotten for being Pennywise. And then Tim Curry, you know, it's the same. It's like all these characters and all these stories that come from him. But
exactly.
It's like, and when he got to do his own thing as a director, he's still, even on drugs, went, fuck it, I'm going to make a movie about, cars becoming sentient and wanting everybody dead.
Well, and I mean, let's think about that. One of the most terrifying fears that a lot of people have is being hit by a semi, let alone having a semi come after you.
With the Green Goblin's face on it. Right?
And that thing is still synonymous today. People come from all over to get their photos with that thing.
Yeah. I mean, and
that's still in existence. I happen to know the gentleman that owns it.
Yeah, see, exactly. It's so, it became so iconic of just that pissed off semi barreling down. It's like Christine. Okay, through that movie, he helped that vehicle. You could get
Piranha.
No, exactly. Movies like that, exactly. You couldn't get away with a lot of those, and it's like, let's have fun and just make crazy movies.
I love it. Respect. King was on all the cocaine.
Well, him and Chevy Chase were probably fighting each other for it.
Right. Cody says, "Oh, candy cane." VP was a god. Yes, Vincent Price. I mean, nobody better, but he was the guy. Now, this is one segment that I can tell you that you can expect from us this year is some of the great actors and actresses of some of the best occult films of all time. And Vincent Price is at the top of the list. So.
He will be there.
Yeah, right.
Very much so.
We will raise him from the dead.
Yes.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice. My next one is so well fucking deserved, in my opinion. Now we're going to fast forward a little bit. But if it wasn't for this man's vision, we would have never have seen and fell in love with a horror icon that has lasted 40, almost 50 years and brought us a brute of a man who runs around in the skins of his victims with large chainsaws. I'm talking about the great Tobe Hooper.
Very much so. Yes. Yes.
Yet again, there was nothing. There was nothing like this. They did not. The American public did not know or was prepared for the horrors that arose in 1974.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It started a whole genre, really, but it's like, oh, this movie is horrible. I saw these people cut in half and all that stuff. And guess what? You didn't, but you think you did. Because those effects aren't in the movie.
Right.
But your brain will put them in there and makes it one of the most horrific films you've ever seen.
And I mean, he was literally fucking brilliant about it. He did not make this film score much of anything. There was little to no music in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And let me tell you, in my personal opinion, that made it 5 times as terrifying because you can hear if something is stirring in the other room. He was making those little like piggy squeal sounds
Grunts,
from
yeah.
behind a big old metal door. And then when he
Ooh.
went to shut that bitch, fucking Toby Hooper hit you with this sound effect that just rang out in your
Oh
head.
yeah.
Like
That
you
kill
knew
right
that was the moment of doom.
Yeah,
What's
no,
behind that door?
that kill to me is still one of the most impactful deaths in a horror film I've ever seen. It was just one of the first ones for me, and it just ingrained.
Oh
You know,
man.
you knew that guy was gone. You knew he hit him real bad, really hard, and it was like you don't even really get time to even register too much what he looks like. And
Mm-mm.
like you said, and he just slams that, and then
He gave him one big whap on
oh
the
yeah,
head with that damn hammer, and he falls to the ground. You hear every bit of this too. And then all you can hear is the sound of his boots
yep,
doing this on the ground because,
yep,
obviously he's shell shocked to fuck.
yeah,
So
that's
to
crazy.
me, that was just badass imagery. Those are sounds you don't forget. Those are the things of nightmares. And
Well,
then,
it's
of
like
course, it led us to the amazing sequel
yeah, exactly,
of Texas Chainsaw
exactly.
2.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like he wasn't afraid to take chances with his stuff either.
Oh
The
no! Once he
like,
put Bill Moseley in there,
I mean, that's Bill. Bill's got to do what Bill does best. And he did. Everybody amped it up to 11. It was great. It's a great ride. It's sort of saying it's like it almost, in a way, is almost like pulled back compared to the grit and the oh my god that you get from the first one. It lets you kind of relax a little bit within the horror, and there's funny parts, and I think it's kind of
funniness from the madness.
exactly, yes. But I mean, it was acted great. I'm a big fan of that one too.
Yup.
And it's like it because it's hard to try to duplicate the first film because you can't really,
Yep.
because it's more of an experience, and that's why we tell everybody, especially being from Texas, that it's a rite of passage.
It is.
You have to watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it's like with Toby Hooper, it's like if it would have been any other director or cast, mind you, but director, really, I don't think it would have came off the same in any way, shape, or form, or had the impact it did.
Right. So definitely he has taken his seat at the table of some of these.
Oh yeah.
Who do we got for him next?
Well, I got a really juicy one for everybody. I've got David Cronenberg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking Scanners.
Oof.
We are talking
Nothing
Videodrome.
like watching melons just go pop.
And we also have one of my personal favorites, Naked Lunch.
Yeah, that seems like one of those films that gets lost.
It does, but it's like when you see an exterminator that's addicted to bug powder and starts hallucinating some really crazy shit to where, I mean, like the typewriter in front of him is a bug that's talking to him. But it's like the way as the filmmaker, David Cronenberg, gives it to you, it's legitimately a giant talking bug that's ass is typewriter keys. It's like he takes his brain into those. You don't know what's hallucinations, what's not. It's a trip. It is a trip.
Literally.
Yeah, pretty much. The only film that it reminds me of and doesn't at the same time is Altered States.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but nothing alike, but only in you're gonna trip. It's a trippy movie. It's crazy.
So there should be definitely a disclaimer for everybody out there in the Black Flame land. You might not want to use your substance of choice before watching one of Cronenberg's classics because it just might take you places you don't want to go.
Very good idea on that point because
Wow. Looney brings up a very, 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 very good point. He's talking about the writer of the book. He said, "Isn't it a confession? I think he actually murdered his wife." I'm going to have to do a deep dive on that and see if we can find anything about that, because
Yeah.
if so, that would be wild.
That would be wild.
Wow.
But also, I think with him, if I don't mention The Fly,
yes,
that I'm personally going to feel bad, since, I've done my makeup version of The Fly, but not Brundle Fly.
I mean, you were a great Brundle, in my opinion.
Thank you. But it's like what he did with that is, it's like, for me, because how I feel about the original one and stuff.
Thank you, Looney. William Burroughs.
There you go.
We will look that up.
And he changed it he made The Fly his own film, without feeling like it was exactly the same. Even though it was a scientist working with stuff, he found a way to modernize the story without losing anything, and in parts making it more emotional than it was in the first one.
Right.
So it's like, I like that, but it's like, yeah, he's more or less known as a body horror specialist.
Yes.
So yeah, if you're on anything mind altering, wear a seatbelt first in the comfort of your home when you're watching these films, because some of them are kind of wild.
Oh, I mean, that's just putting it mildly.
I'm trying to. It's mild for me.
Oh my goodness. All right. This next one that I'm going to mention, I know I'm going, well, this guy spans, hold on. Whew, man. This guy goes clear back to 1959. But the films that he's most well known for are his 70s works, his 80s works, and even his 90s works. When we think of Italian horror, there is one man that stands above, I have to say, all of them. And I've literally heard so many directors, first-time directors, even, directors that have been around directing films for a long time, cite this man as a influence. And there's a reason for that. I give you Fulci.
Yeah.
Fulci has given us some wow fucking mindfuck films.
Yeah.
That are so insane. The gore can be over the top. Such films as let's see here. There's so many. Zombie Flesh Eaters from 1979.
Yeah, one of the most iconic zombie designs from that front cover with the worms coming out of his eyes. That's one of the most famous zombie designs like ever because of his impact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and he was also, if I remember correctly, the one that is responsible for shooting an underwater scene with a shark.
Yep.
A zombie and a shark.
Yep. Zombie versus the shark. Yep. And that was a real freaking shark.
That was a real shark.
Real shark. Get in there in your zombie makeup. Oh, that's going to look real good when the blood comes out. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that motherfucker is acting like he's trying to eat it.
Oh, yeah. They went for it. Yep.
That is dedication, folks.
He was going in for nom-noms.
And this was not a small shark, everybody.
Oh, no.
I don't think that they were even aware that it was there until I'm down there and the cameraman's down there, and then, oh, look at this.
Shoot it. It'll be zombie versus shark.
Oh,
looks great.
And I mean, that's about as practical as it gets.
Oh, yeah.
That whole film was insane, but I love it.
I respect that, but I don't condone it at the same time.
Well, no, we don't want to hurt our actors.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially since he probably did it for like 8 cartons of smokes and
J&B.
You know what I mean?
It's in every one of the old horror films. You can find a bottle of it in every one of them.
Damn Skippy.
They had marketing.
Another one of his favorite or cult classics is the New York Ripper.
Yep.
Definitely one of my personal favorites. The Devil's Honey. Now that's a twister. That's all I'm going to say. About that one. I mean, obviously, Demonia from 1990. Definitely a racier look
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the nunnery and everything involved with when demons strike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
so, if you don't mind a little skin in the game, as they say, Fulci was never one to hold back on that.
yeah, no.
But at least it wasn't senseless. That it did make sense.
Most of the time, but sometimes
Most
I agree with you there. He wouldn't shy from it, and sometimes it's like, oh, we need more boobs. Okay, put more boobs in scene. Okay, no problem. But he would go the other direct route too. He didn't spare the men either.
No. There was equality.
Yeah.
But what
So
you have to remember, especially in Europe during the 70s, the 80s too, because I mean, look at America. America was exploiting, women nudity like hotcakes, and in a lot of ways, I still feel like a lot of viewers want that. And I think it's stupid to a degree, because I'm like, if it makes sense, if it really truly makes sense, then okay, I see that.
right.
But if
Right.
it's just senseless graphic just for the sake of graphic, I could totally leave it,
Well,
but
your
the
story is gonna
70s
be
and the 80s was about pushing boundaries.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
trying to bring a beauty to the art. And in a lot of ways, I can definitely say that the female form is there's nothing better.
Oh,
I like me a good, dark angel, if you will,
right. Right.
a seductress, succubus,
Right.
that kind of thing. But again, if it doesn't really make sense, then why do it? But we can
Right.
definitely say that the grittiness and the creativity of Fulci is definitely second to none in the realm of the bizarre.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, very much so. Very much so.
Next up,
I'm gonna go a route to where this person isn't considered a director, but I think you'll fully understand what I mean. I'm gonna go with Rod Serling because he didn't direct the episodes of Twilight Zone.
Nope.
Because it was different directors that did the different episodes and different writers that would come in. But the entire concept, the entire baby of it was his thing. And he continually directed it throughout the whole, where the show was going to go. But the reason I've got to say him is especially for horror. I don't believe there's any person that has tied in more different themes to horror than he has. Because you had what? You had from all the Twilight episodes, you had gremlins on an airplane, you had robots, you had a battle between good and evil, you had a dead man come back to life, you had the last man on Earth, you had all these different stories, alien invasions, you had stuff happening in the Wild West, or the future and all that stuff. And he jumped so many different genres. I don't think anybody's ever done that. And granted, it was an ongoing series and a show, which did get turned into films, but he wasn't, part of that. But still, they kept that aspect of being as crazy as the Twilight Zone series was.
And we're talking about black and white TV,
Exactly. Yeah.
back in the golden era, if you will, of American history of television. And this was, Uncle Rod. That you would see once a week. People would make sure that they had nothing to do at that time in order to catch every episode.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I do feel that he had just as much effect on what was to become modern horror, just due to the fact that his monologues.
No, exactly. Well, that kind of vibe too, but it was also the point to where it's like horror got to expand in so many different directions.
Yes.
Because it was always like you said, with Vincent Price and stuff like that, and Lugosi, and it was the dark medieval English castle, or down in Romanian castles and caves and all this other stuff. And then when it came into his kind of stuff, with that, you got it to where it's suburbia, it's
Mm-hmm.
the Wild
It,
West.
it, it hits you where felt at home, basically.
Exactly, but each
It's like,
characters within it.
horror doesn't just affect poor people. No, it affects everyone, motherfucker.
Exactly, and that's what it was for me. It was so outstretching in the themes and the genres that he could touch on it, but on how it expanded, like you said with Fulci, it's people that have just changed how you think of a horror story to begin with,
And suck
and,
your ass in.
yeah, and pull you in. It's like, oh, I didn't know that was going to be I watched a horror movie. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
You were pulled into
It's
the
like
drama.
as
You're
soon as
pulled into
Rod
the
started
story.
talking, you knew that you were about to go on an exciting ride. You just didn't know what kind of ride that was going to be.
Exactly. But you knew you would end up in
Hell yeah.
Twilight Zone. you know.
So to answer Brother Babylon's question, he says, who did the Hammer films? So the most prolific directors of those Hammer films were Terrence Fisher, Michael Carreras, Freddie Francis. Now, Freddie Francis is pretty much synonymous with UK horror. He's done a lot of that stuff. When he wasn't working on Hammers, he was directing other horror films as well. Roy Ward Baker and John Gilling.
Yeah, because they kind of held on to a set crew of people that they knew that they could, same thing as
They
like
could count on.
Yeah, why you hang
Mhm.
on to Peter Cushing and why you hang on to Christopher Lee, because it's Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. it's the magic they were able to pull off. But I
Right?
agree with them. It's like Hammer was huge, and
Still
for me,
huge.
still, very much so. I agree. And the impact that they had was like a more visceral version of the Universal monsters that you were used to.
Right.
It
He
was
was taking it darker.
Yeah, they didn't have to have the kid gloves on that Universal did at the time.
Yeah, it was the ultimate, dangling of the carrot in front of one's face.
Yeah, that's like we can go so
let's
far,
shock them. But wait a minute, pull back. Don't show the wound. No, don't show it going in. Don't set him on fire. Blood, teeth, what? No, Hammer's fucking busted the doors down with that shit.
Exactly, and that's the thing is it's Hammer redesigned how horror was going to be going forward once they started doing their films. It's like, look at the color of the blood. Holy crap. Oh man, look how long his fangs are.
That formula is still
his eyes are bleeding red, It's like, and you got Christopher Lee behind it. You got Peter Cushing battling. It's like you're going to tune in just to see them, let alone the story they're about to tell.
Right. And that was one thing. They always had the best actors and actresses, anything from English actors to German actors from all over the place were like, I want to be in this film.
Right.
Because they knew they had it.
It's like, I'll play Cockney if you need me, sir. I'll do whatever you need. Just put me in your film.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right. So I guess for my last one, this one brings us to modern times. I'd say in the last 20 years, we'll say. And there's a couple of them, but there's one that stands out that has pushed boundaries harder. And not to mention from going from one medium of music, metal, for instance, to creating some of the most hellish films that you never saw coming. One was a great trilogy, and then almost another to be honest with you, a franchise again, and then has directed some of the most fucked up films you've ever seen. You know who I'm talking about. His wife shows up in every fucking film. Rob fucking Zombie.
Hey, got to be mentioned though. He's got to be. No, I agree with your decision on putting him in there.
I got to make that joke. I just have to, because
No,
everybody does. But man, he is the reason for the great Captain Spaulding, Otis Firefly.
Yeah.
My
Firefly.
dear friend Robert Mukes.
Yeah.
Who is the great Rufus Jr. And the whole Firefly family. I mean, the family that stays together kills together in this wonderful diabolical franchise.
You're gonna wake Grandma,
right?
Yeah,
shit, Grandma was a motherfucker too.
Yeah, everybody in it, exactly.
His little stand-up comedy ass.
If you don't put the mask on, none of us get to eat. So put the fucking mask on.
Right.
But exactly, no. But
enlighten him.
Well, but
he wants to know. Too. He wants to know.
Rob does have an eye for people like that, because it did, like you said, it gave Sid Haig an amazing actor that a lot of people slept on until Rob Zombie made him Captain Spaulding.
And bam.
Yeah, and it's like
for the next 15, 20 fucking years of his career.
And that's the thing, is like his career had already been 30 freaking years long. You know, it's like
exactly.
He had been working all these amazing Spider Baby.
Oh my goodness.
I love that film. Liz, that's one of her favorite movies.
Oh, that movie fucking rules.
It's great. No, it's absolutely great. And it's the thing is with Sid, you got him in you get him in Corman. You know, it's like that is I have to give Rob Zombie credit. Because even Bill Moseley would say that. You're putting a spotlight on Sid Haig, and you should.
And many should. And the fact that the man has worked with, in my opinion, some of the greatest directors of all time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, his part in the first film, he was not supposed to be the spotlight, guys. He was the kind of like, I'm going to take you on this ride, and then you're going to find out that what you're looking for is not what you wanted to look for.
Exactly.
And that's where the Firefly family comes in. I mean, I forget the name of this one actor, but he was in some of the like best bad guy TV shows, films, as one of the sheriffs in the first one. He's the Southern guy. He was in a couple of Westerns.
Oh, Walton Goggins.
That's it. Yeah. Walton Goggins showed up in that. And I said, we got a party going on here.
Oh,
Rob Zombie had just a unbelievable way of finding excellent talent.
Same thing as you go by that for Officer Waddell.
Oh,
you know, is literally Otis,
his brother too.
Well, from Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Yep.
You know, and all these different films that he had played, he found people that had people forgot about for some reason.
But he never did, because that was the type of film lover that he was.
That he was raised into. Yeah. His crazy
on horror and all the exploitation films.
Yep.
So
William Forsythe too. Put him in. He's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Wydell's brother, man.
Exactly.
William Forsythe. Oh man, he was an ass kicker.
Oh, you ever say
one? I don't think there's anybody better.
Presley, I kicked the dog shit out of you. Fuck Groucho. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You stick that back in your gray matter and make it stick.
No, but that's the thing. Exactly. You need.
What's up, Erica? What's going on? David J. Paul. Hey, brother, what's going on? You and I got to talk.
There's like tons of things with that I do got to give Zombie that. is that even just for eye for talent,
Eye for
and
talent, and
knowing people that can
obviously
take a role and go with it. Yeah.
Music choice was fucking stellar. That scene with Walton Goggins and Otis, and everything just goes silent, and you know what's coming. You know it.
Yeah.
But it feels like an eternity, and then
He drags it out. Yeah. Oh,
that was poetic.
Yeah.
That was a poetic moment there.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
No, exactly. But it's also too, like once you get into the second one, I mean, with Banjo Sullivan, I mean, you get Juliet Lewis's father,
Y'all.
Brian Posehn, you get so many people in that one too. And then Sid gets to do a whole nother version of Captain Spaulding.
Right.
It's like, God damn it, woman, stop calling me fucking poopy. It's like, it was killing. It's like, man, I'm laughing my ass off. It's like, leave me alone. Well, God damn it. That's one of the best scenes. That movie, I love that. That's great. But it's only Sid, it's the same thing as he did in Hatchet, with the ability to do that, to have that one-off conversation. It's like, what did he just say? No, wait, oh man, and just laughing your ass off, him just getting into a verbal confrontation with somebody.
And then being able to take the Halloween franchise and giving it such a magnificently darker, more disturbing, I would say.
Redneck Myers.
Yeah.
Or Hobo Myers, sometimes they call him that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of when when he's out in the wilderness before he gets all Michaeled up.
Right.
But he had the balls to go somewhere different with it.
No one else would have told that story quite the same way. He took it from he grew up in a much more
two-story suburban house in the 80s.
Well, yeah, for the most part. Like he was white trash. He comes from a white trash family.
Well, that's the thing. That was his first change, was it's like he went from a decently well-off family, and then him changing that right there changed so many factors to the story just going forward. They're not going to have all this tons of money for psychiatric treatments and all this other kinds of stuff like that. And it's going to
he's going to become an enemy of the state.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he would end up becoming a drain on them, even if they were trying to help him. Which I believe his mom was, but it's like, how do you help somebody that is evil? Right. And that's like the whole thing.
She's got no concept of it. She doesn't want to believe it's true.
Well, that's the thing on that one is his mom's not going to want to see that. But then it's like you have characters like Loomis that see
Malcolm McDowell. Nobody better could have stepped into those fucking shoes.
I agree. I agree with you on that. Because when you're coming from Donald Pleasant's portrayal of Loomis, you better swing
big
hard.
Shoes.
Yeah, you better get somebody. And Brad Dourif, and I know he was sheriff, but I think he is the only one that I think could have done his version of Loomis. Would have been pretty out there and crazy too.
Oh, I absolutely agree that was definitely the right sheriff bracket.
Oh yeah, I thought he did great.
And then paying homage to the later sequels, he brings in Danielle Harris.
Yep. I got to give
all
him
of her
that.
Fucking glory.
Yep. Yeah, which
great choice.
Oh yeah. No, she always does a great job in anything she's in.
For sure.
So he does. He's got that eye for talent, putting scenes together, and the right music.
Right.
Too for scenes. Exactly. Oh yeah.
And then a lot of that twisty, trippy
carnival,
70s kind of horror, like interludes.
Yep.
And suddenly
you
just jumped on the fucking Puff the Magic Dragon train.
Right. Like, I swear I didn't take anything. What's in this popcorn? Like, does this rag smell like chloroform to you? So it's like,
all right. Man, this has been fun. So who do you have left?
My last pick, I decided, will instantly be recognizable to people, especially for horror, but also for what they brought to taking the genre beyond from their films, inspiring people.
Yes.
And I give you Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, yes. Nothing better than the shadow of the fat man.
Oh, the master of building suspense.
Yes.
From films like Psycho,
Oh, man.
The Birds,
You know,
and Vertigo.
Vertigo was a mind fucker.
Exactly. And that's the thing. He was
Straight
the
up
master
mind.
of building suspense and the king of the MacGuffin. Of literally just that device to get the story going and get you forward. And you'll believe it's there. They never's got to show it to you. You believe
And
it's there.
one of the things that I loved about him when he came out, he's in all his glory, black and white. And he's like, tonight we're going to take a trip into the unknown. He had a way of talking to you.
He
know
did.
What I'm saying?
Yeah. No, he
that
did.
Just
Exactly.
kind of got under your skin and made you all uncomfortable because of the look on his face. He was like,
yeah, no, it was very, that's interesting too, that we were just talking about Loomis.
yeah.
Because for Psycho specifically, he did exactly that. I'm going to take you on the murder of a crime scene. There is a murder that has happened here in the shower. Oh, like powerful foreshadowing. It's like somebody's going to die in that shower in the movie. Just watch, just wait. But it's like he was so good at it and compelling with his voice. It's like, okay, let's watch. Let's go. Come on. Okay.
Well, and another really big thing to keep in mind is that he was pretty much, and correct me if I'm wrong, because there's always that one film that may get past us, especially during the 50s era, because, there were some that were very independent style. Yeah. But with his film Psycho, I tend to believe that he was the first one that ever showed any kind of blood. I mean, black and white.
To that degree, like literally of like
in the bathtub.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I think so. I know that it was chocolate syrup.
Well, sure it was.
And that
you felt that shit though.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, because it was to show the parts. He also took the psychology of, if you're in the shower, you're completely unclothed most of the time, unless
people obviously
will shower how you shower. I'm not anybody, but normally you don't have anything on. You have in most cases, nothing to defend yourself. And especially in that mindset, you're very, very vulnerable.
That's probably your most
moments of her going like this, and then you hear into the melon, the butcher knife going into the watermelon, and then seeing those little drops going down the swirling water of the shower. Your mind put in every single stab that Norman gave her,
right?
Even though he didn't show it. But I do believe he had to been one of the ones for the black and whites to show blood like that.
Yes,
I would have to say, because he really like one of the things he had said, like as a director for him, which is kind of crazy, but I get it, is he said it was more of like being a puppet master.
Oh yeah,
and the audience was his puppets. So he was more or less taking you on this ride of suspense and then build it up, and he would hit you where he needed to hit you. Is the same thing as if you were going through like a dark carnival ride that's horror. They've got to have the jump scares and things like that. And I think he's one of the people that helped create them.
Yeah.
It's just for him, they usually had a purpose on why they happened. And now there's one every 5 seconds. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm scared, because once you get it the first couple times, but then it's like, Well, it's like also too, it give you unnerving feelings because you're looking at an animal going, "Oh, that's a pretty bird." Now think if that bird decided to get pissed off and peck your eye out of your head, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well,
A whole
sure.
flock of
And
them, you
those
know?
were the birds that everyone was like, "Oh, I like to be a bird watcher." No, these were like
Ah,
vultures, but they
there
were
was,
the cute little birds that you like.
yeah, there was
So
everything. Yeah,
he
it was all the
was
birds
so
trying to kill you.
yes, he was so fucking smart.
Yeah, and it's like,
So smart.
and you look at it for that, you scared the actress Janet Leigh so bad she never took a shower again in the rest of her life.
You see.
She took a bath for the rest of her life. She never took a shower again.
That film is absolutely the fucking reason that everybody makes sure that they stick their heads out while they're taking a shower to make sure that there's nobody on the other side.
Have you been a good boy, Norman?
Right?
Mother's going to check.
Not to mention, who back in those times could have possibly come up with a story that this insane man takes on the persona of his mother and they're talking to each other.
Well, see, he was smart about that was being able to look and find those like authors of books and stuff that would have those compelling types of stories to where he could go, okay, I'm going to buy the movie rights. And I'm going to
Right?
make this. And
Yup.
he was really good at finding the ones that had those building blocks to where he knew he could take you on an adventure and give you those turns and build up the suspense and stuff, because that was one of his number one things was that, like, not just yes impending doom, but suspense building up just like an unnerving atmosphere in a very quaint normal locations,
Yep.
and then anytime you can make the normal scary, it's just more unnerving for people because you feel less safe anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely. Um, Erica, thank you so much, says there's something about not seeing it and imagining it. I
exactly.
absolutely agree.
Exactly.
Babylon just piggybacked off of what I said. His opening monologues were the shit. They
Yeah.
really were, because of the way
Yeah.
he just, his presence,
Yep.
everything. He says he owns all of his stuff on DVD. That's badass.
Nice. That's a collection.
Yes, definitely.
Mhm.
Fantastic collection.
Same with
Well,
Corman. I mean, you do that, you'll get a whole wall.
oh man,
It's like, whoo.
possibilities are endless.
Mhm.
Well, this has been an epic first episode of the new year of the Horror Barbecue, and everybody has just been so fucking awesome as always. Unbelievable. For talking about some of these directors, because this is something a lot of people don't discuss. They just discuss the film aspects. They don't discuss the people behind the camera, because at the end of the day, it's the director that pulls it all together. Yes, don't get me wrong, actors, actresses, absolutely, but who gives them the direction but the director to bring these nightmares to life?
Yeah, gotta assemble all the pieces that are brought together from everybody's talents, bringing the audio crews, the set dressings, all of that. The director's got to control all that and control
It
it into a
takes a
singular vision.
village to make
Yep.
a iconic film. And
Exactly.
all of the directors that we've talked about tonight, if you haven't checked out some of them, they're everywhere, guys. Prime Video, Tubi, in some cases, Pluto TV. There's so many free apps.
Yeah.
There's even some
free.
free horror apps
Yeah,
that show
and,
some of the old classics.
free with ads on YouTube as well.
Right? YouTube is another very, very useful tool.
Yep.
So, check them out if you haven't. And some of you guys I believe, have some of your own favorite directors. Don't be afraid to let us know, what are some of your picks as well. We love that shit. We love the interactiveness. But apparently, everyone we mentioned tonight, it kind of hits home with everybody. And that was very heartwarming for me, because I'm like, oh, okay. We got some horror specialists in here, and I love you guys for that. And thank you for supporting us. In just a few moments, myself and the Defiler are going to be coming on to discuss a few things, just to let you know of what's coming forward and why it's coming forward this way. So if you want to join us in about 10 minutes, definitely come back and you'll get all the gory details, as it were. So let's set the record straight. And of course, don't forget, coming up this Tuesday, Tracks of the Damned shall be back in epic fashion. Another edition of the Horror Barbecue is also on its way, and there will be a special Reapers Underground tomorrow morning. I know, I just said morning, and that's because my guest hails all the way from Germany. Well, when it comes to that, we have to make special concessions, and this is a musical guest that I think you will very much enjoy. And they are killing it over there, and they are very up and coming from Fetzner Records. Wow, that's a mouthful. No, I'm sorry, Fetzner Death Records. There we go. And if you are a fan of death metal, you're going to want to tune in for sure. And then finally, I'm sorry that we did not do our first edition of the goddamn program this past Saturday. We were fine-tuning some things and making some changes so that we can finally bring you this epic fun show back the way it needs to be in all of its glory, coming this Saturday. So again, thank you all from the bottom of our black hearts for joining us. And you've definitely made this a very fun episode. And we look forward to bringing you more carnage and horror that you can handle. And always stay heavy.
Thank you for joining us on Reapers Underground. Stay tuned for more from Black Flame Entertainment.